ask Felicia McKee to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the January 30th, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I have the honor of serving as chair currently and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning.
Good morning.
First item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are 4 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments?
I have no questions. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Mr. Chairman, this morning we have vouchers that total $896,195.51. Just some of the highlights out of the vouchers are payments to Aramark with Department of Corrections, holding accounts with the state of Kansas, health insurance premiums paid, our contract with the Shawnee County Coroner, and then also a state account payment to the Kansas Children's Service League. And those roughly total up to half of the vouchers. The others are just miscellaneous all across the board, but I have reviewed it and I have no questions. And I move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, and opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Commissioner. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller to approve, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please, Chris.
Number 3, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for Home Depot ARC IRB for 2017.
Home Depot has met their requirements. They've made their in lieu of tax payment and eligible for renewal.
Okay.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please, Chris.
Number 4, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for the following. A, HME Inc., expansion number 2, year 9. B, HME Inc., expansion number 3, year 2. C, Crosswind Pet Foods Inc., year 3. D, Big Heart Pet Brands, year 9. E, Big Heart Pet Brands, year 6. And F, Big Heart Pet Brands, year 3.
Are there questions or comments about these tax incentives?
I would move for approval.
And I'll second. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
B, Kansas Expo Center, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contracts C30 2017, C31 2017, and C32 2017 with Smash It Demolition Derbies, Inc. and the Kansas Expo Center, SMG, for use of the Landon Arena, Exhibition Hall, and Domer Livestock Arena for the years 2018, 2019, and 2020.
Good morning, Commissioners. Les Crooks, Kansas Expo Center. Pretty exciting day for us. We have the ability to lock down Blizzard Bash for the next 3 years for 18, 19, and 20. I've got Sam Williams with Ultimate Derbies in the audience with me as well. But this is an event that we've grown together, the two organizations, from scratch since 2010. According to the State Department of Revenue, outside of the NASCAR event in Kansas City, it is the largest motorsports event in the state of Kansas. It brings about 3,800 hotel rooms to town, and it's a joint event that our staff is intimately involved in helping to produce, and they have total buy-in, and they just love it. And we're excited that we have the opportunity to lock this down for the next 3 years for Topeka.
Questions or comments? We're all excited. Welcome, Mr. Williams. Good to have you here. And we just installed a new exhaust system to make sure we could stay competitive in this area and make it fun for everybody.
Yes.
So, additional questions or comments?
No, I would move for approval, and it's good to be known as the #1 demolition derby in the world.
Agreed.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. And again, welcome. We're excited about it. Thank you, Les. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider approval of request for capital expenditures in a total amount of $41,632 as follows. A, installation of new carpeting in all service level rooms, crew room, star rooms, 4, locker rooms, 2, security office, operations office, skate room, accounting and human resources offices at a cost of $20,773. And B, second phase of the concrete sidewalk repairs needed around the perimeter of Landon Arena at a cost of $14,749. C, a required software upgrade for the Johnson Controls Building Management System at a cost of $2,500. D, replacement of an old ice machine in concession stand number 5 at a cost of $3,610.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hans Niska, Director of Operations, Kansas Expo Center. Would you like me to go over all 4 of them and then answer questions, or one at a time? It's your pleasure.
Go ahead, one at a time would be great, Hans.
All right, perfect. The first item is a carpet replacement project in our service level in Landon Arena. I attached some pictures of the existing carpet to the memo, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm happy to answer any questions, but we did get 3 bids, and we do recommend using Lundy's Flooring LLC, which is a local company, Topeka company, in the replacement of the carpeting.
Yeah, I appreciate the documentation of the pictures that we could show to justify it. So, any questions on this issue? Next item.
Second item is the second phase, moving along with some concrete repairs needed on Landon Arena, the sidewalk around Landon Arena. This would continue from where we left off after phase 1 and bring us around to the south entrance, which we call the handicap entrance. It's sort of the main entrance off of the south parking lot. This was also bid, and the previous contractor was beat out by Heartland Concrete, which I'd like to use for the second phase. They're also a local Topeka company, and the total they bid it for was $14,749, also capital expenditure funds.
Questions or comments? Again, I appreciate the pictures that you put with the documentation. Okay. See?
Third item is a necessary upgrade as softwares improve. We need to upgrade our software on our controls to be able to maximize our capability of our building management system. It's not really an item that we can bid because it's a Johnson Control system, so we're sort of forced to use their product to upgrade it, and the cost of that's $2,500.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. Next.
And the fourth item is a replacement of an old ice machine. The compressor went out, so we got a bid from Dean Heating and Cooling, which is a company that we use for quite a bit of this work at the Expo Center. To replace the compressor in the ice machine would cost $2,200, just over $2,200. To replace the entire ice machine is $3,600, which would eliminate a lot of future problems as well. So I'm suggesting that we replace the asset with a new ice machine, which they bid 2 different solutions. I also went online. I believe I attached an online price as well. And Dean's is actually quoting to replace and do all the labor and hook it up and everything for about the same price that I could buy the actual ice machine from. So I think the quote is pretty accurate. So I'm moving to replace the ice machine with using Dean's Heating and Cooling for $3,600.
Okay. Thank you. Questions?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital expenditures for the Expo Center.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you,
you.
Hans. Next item, please, Chris.
Item C, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of request to create and fill 7 new park maintenance technicians at an annual salary including benefits of $46,380.58 and eliminate 11 vacant park maintenance worker positions.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. As the clerk just read, we're asking for permission to create 7 new park maintenance tech positions and eliminate 11 vacant park maintenance workers. I visited with the Teamsters back before, just before Thanksgiving. I've also worked extensively with Jim Crowell when he was the Human Resources Director. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Other questions or comments? Obviously, our HR department is the gatekeeper on issues such as this. I don't know if Mr. Crowell wants to discuss this briefly, and if commissioners have questions for him.
Jim Crowell, Shawnee County Councilor, acting as HR Director. Yeah, John and I have met several times on this issue. I understand his plan. It is within county rules. He has done the necessary meet and confer with the Teamsters, who did not object to this approach.
Okay. And it's in keeping with our stringent process for documenting using job descriptions and the overall organization of the unit.
Yes, it's creating new positions. What I like to do, and I pay particular attention to, is when we've got an existing filled position that's seeking a reclassification upward, rather than a vacant position. When it's a vacant position, now we're only talking about the position and the needs of the department with the position. When it's an occupied, you begin to make sure that we're not just trying to get someone a wage increase with a new title alone, that we're actually, we've got to look and make sure we're actually changing duties of the position. These are creating new positions that will then be filled and eliminating vacant positions. So I'm comfortable with this approach.
But I think that's important to note. It's the position itself, not the employees that are in that position.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
what we try to focus on.
Okay. Questions, commissioners?
Yes, and just to further clarify, they are vacant.
Correct. Yes.
How many total park maintenance workers do you have?
I believe the number is 18, I believe. Somebody back here wants to jump up and correct me, but I believe it's 18.
Okay. Thanks, John.
And the focus here also, as we've discussed, in contracting out some of the work, is that we want to do specialized maintenance within the department. And then the routine mowing and that kind of thing, we're trying to contract that out as a cost saving.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that is.
Okay.
I don't have any questions. I move for approval.
Okay.
One second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-33, 2017 with Sharon Perkins to instruct dance classes and/or workshops with compensation of $13 per student.
Commissioners, John Knight, Parks and Recreation again. This is an independent services contract that is before you today. If we don't sign this one, then Randy Luby would teach the dance lessons, and I don't think anybody in Topeka or Shawnee County want to see that. If you have any specific questions about that, Darlene Streeter, our programs manager, is back here in the back. I know, I got a visual too. It's not pretty, is it?
Yeah,
I'll move
know-
approval quickly.
yeah. Sometimes you just get to a stopping point.
It's almost Dancing with the Stars.
It is. Was that a second,
It is,
Commissioner?
yes.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank
Next
you,
item.
Commissioners.
Thank you, John.
Item D, Emergency Management. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-34, 2017 with the Federal Emergency Management Agency Integrated Public Alert and Warning System IPAWS Program Management Office to utilize the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System and obtain the licensing and software for installation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols. This is the next step in our strategic plan to get the IPOS system up and running.
Questions for Dusty?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Dusty. Next item, please.
Item E, Public Works Solid Waste, number 1, consider awarding bid to Bettis Asphalt Construction, Inc. in an amount of $1,612,454.78 for the Southwest Yurish Road, Southwest 17th to a point 900 feet north of Southwest 21st Street project, and authorization and execution of Contract C-35, 2017 for same, with sufficient funds available in the project account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Blanc with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item, and this is in follow-up to some prior items we had last week, but we took bids for the improvement project on Urish from 17th to 21st, and after reviewing the bids, the low bidder that submitted the bid, we noticed did not submit a list of subcontractors as part of their bid and as is required by the contract documents. And the contract documents state that those that do not submit subcontractor listing, the bid is then non-responsive. And people may wonder, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, the reason that is a big deal is subcontractors on these types of projects perform a significant portion of the work. So there's all different types of subcategories, I guess, from road construction, whether it be the asphalt paving or the storm sewer work or whatever you have, grading, that they do the work. And so we need to know who we're going to be working, who's going to be working for us in those types of projects. But also what it does, and this is by no means to say that this is what's going on, but what it does open up the potential to happen is a potential bidder could really come in low on a project, get the bid awarded to them, and then go out and start shopping for subs and say, all right, this is what you have to do it for after the fact. And whether or not a subcontractor can do it for that amount, if they need work, they might say, okay, we'll do it, and then either hope they can do it for that amount or not commit the sufficient resources and staff to complete it on time or reduce their quality potentially. And that is a reason why that statement is in the bidding contract or the documents that they have to list their subs. If a contractor, for instance, thought that maybe they had to put in overtime to complete the job on time, they may cut out that overtime, which would then delay the project, and what that then leads to is a change order for an extension of time, which then the county would then need to have to amend its construction inspection and construction administration contract to pay for our consultant to be on the job to inspect the work. So it can lead to an array of different things down the road if we don't know who our subs are and we are not, have a level of comfort that the subs know exactly what they're getting into for a fair price. Additionally, as stated in the memo, we do have the funds available to award the bid to Bettis, even though they were the second low bidder. But based on the circumstances and in an attempt to prevent us from having future issues like this arise, because if we do it once, we're setting a precedent to then allow it to happen in the future, which I think would be a bad practice to get into. So it is with that we are recommending that the award of this contract be awarded to Bettis Asphalt Construction in the amount of $1,612,454.78. So if there's any questions regarding this matter, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have a quick question. We got 4 bids, the Amino Brothers, Bettis, Ham Inc., and Kansas Heavy Construction. The other 3 from Bettis, Ham, and Kansas Heavy Construction, they were all compliant with the request information that we asked for?
Yes, and this is a very common requirement of bids. It just is, because this is what it's trying to prevent. But it's very common. I think, honestly, I can't imagine an entity not requiring it. So it wouldn't be something like, well, we didn't know, because it is so common that it's just industry standard that you list your subcontractors, your major subcontractors, not necessarily every single one who are doing maybe a very minor part, but your significant subcontractors.
But it is critical in projects like this.
Yes, we believe it's very critical.
Okay, very good. Are there other questions?
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Cook?
Just an observation that I think that with all of our contracts with the county, adhering to the rules is very important. Whether it's the time to turn in the bid, if you turn in a bid in late, it doesn't get counted. Completeness, if it's incomplete, it's non-responsive. If you offer something other than what the requested item is, it's deemed also non-responsive. So this is, again, following our county rules that you have to adhere to all the parts. And so in this case, we have a contractor who didn't, or a bidder that didn't, and the next bid did, so.
And also in the language, a lot of times you get into a contract and it says something may be, something shall be. And it's a big difference between the two. May kind of gives us a little bit of an option of, well, we can let it slide this time. In this particular case, not listing the subcontractors shall be considered non-responsive. So although I'm no attorney, in working with them, that's a pretty significant difference in words in contracts.
Okay, very good. Commissioner, anything? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Tom. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider approval of request to reinstate and reclassify an equipment operator position to a bridge maintenance position at a salary including benefits of $43,859.89, and to fill any position that may become vacant as a result of filling this one.
Commissioners, Tom Luck again with Public Works and Solid Waste. And the reason for this request, we recently, in the last year, we had our bridge supervisor retire, and we refilled that position. And the new supervisor came in, and when he came in, we did an evaluation of our bridge department staff. And what we determined was there are essentially 3 different types of work that we do. We do general culvert maintenance work, smaller culvert replacement, and large culvert replacement. And each of those types of work take varying amounts of staff to efficiently complete them. The replacement of small culverts typically takes about around four people to do it. Just general maintenance, usually around 3. And then our larger culvert replacements takes anywhere from 6 to 8 people to do it. And in evaluating that, we thought, you know what? Well, let me back up a little bit. Prior to the early retirement program that was put in place back in 2011, we had 8 people in this department. When the early retirement was put in place, we had a couple of people take advantage of that, and we reduced ourselves down to 6, and that's where we currently stand. In evaluating our current staffing and the amount of work we're able to do, 6 is really not a very good number, because we can't really be doing 2 things at once. And our new supervisor said if we were able to add 1 person in the summer, we could essentially break our staff into 2 crews, where we would have 1 doing maintenance and 1 doing small culvert replacement. And then when we had larger culvert replacements, we would combine them, and then they'd all work together. So by reinstating a position that was I guess removed or eliminated or vacated, I guess is probably a better word, vacated back in 2011, by reinstating that position, by adding 1 person, we could then take ourselves from one work crew to 2 work crews. And it's my belief, for that investment, we can significantly increase the amount of production that we can do with our bridge department in our culvert inventory throughout the county. So that is the reason for the request. I personally think it would be a very, very good return on investment if we were to reinstate this position. And then, like I said, and also downgrade it. The one that was, the person that took advantage of the early retirement was in a, I think, an equipment operator, which pays more than what the position we are requesting would be bridge maintenance. So our request is to basically downgrade the position, the PCN, to a bridge maintenance worker, and then reinstate that. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Questions or comments?
I would move for approval.
A second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please, Chris.
Number 3, consider approval of request to provide funding to Keep America Beautiful from the solid waste operation budget accounts in a total amount of $45,000 for 2017.
Commissioners, Tom Block again with Public Works and Solid Waste. This would be a solid waste item, and as you all know, as Commissioner Archer asked Felicia McKee to lead this Pledge of Allegiance, who's the Executive Director of the Topeka Shawnee County Keep America Beautiful program here. Solid Waste believes we have more duty to this community than just collecting refuse and recycling. And as part of that, we recognize the efforts that Keep America Beautiful does in the coordination of a ton of volunteers throughout the year. And so we historically, the department has historically helped provide some funding for their operations throughout the years, and we would just like to continue that and use $45,000 of our solid waste budget, again, non-tax funded, so it would be just funds from the solid waste department to help their operation to obtain the benefits that they provide to us and to the community with the work they do. As mentioned, the funding would come from the solid waste operations budget, and Felicia is here if you would like to ask her any questions, but attached to the memo was their annual report that demonstrates the amount of benefits that we get, which if you look at it is quite minimal for what we believe we get out of it. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Felicia, come on up. I think all the commissioners want to thank you for your contribution to our community, number one, and see if you had any additional information to provide.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support of Shawnee County and also the city of Topeka. I know we constantly try to find other funding for Keep America Beautiful, and it's really difficult when times are difficult. You know, the funding is cut a lot. So without the support of Shawnee County and the city of Topeka, we simply wouldn't exist. So thank you so much for your support in the past. I'd be happy to provide you with any other information that you may require, and just ready to keep on working for you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Cook?
But before we let Felicia go, there's some program on TV that I keep seeing commercials for. And I don't know if she could maybe tell us a little bit about it.
You know, that came out of a late night chamber meeting. I wanted to create another event that was community-wide and to clean up the city and the county, and we talked about it quite a bit. And one of my good friends over at WRBW suggested that we use Get Down and Get Dirty, because we will be down in the ditches and getting very dirty. And I said, well, let me run that one by the board just to make sure that they feel that it would be appropriate. And they loved it. So that's the whole event was born, and we're hoping to add another event for the fall this year.
Good. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again for being here. Next item, please.
Thank you,
Item-
Commissioners.
Oh, sorry. Item F, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding the purchase of a 1-year subscription to Lexipol LLC that provides law enforcement agency-specific policies at a total cost of $34,652, including a one-time implementation support fee of $16,350 and funded through the state forfeiture account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Colbeck at the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff wishes to notify you of his intent to enter into this contract with Lexipol. Lexipol is a risk management company that provides policies for over 2,500 law enforcement agencies across the nation. We've looked at Lexipol extensively over the last couple of years, and it's our intent to replace our current written directive system with these policies that are developed with the fingerprint of the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office on them, but they're done in a way to ensure that they're compliant with the law. What I find interesting as a former manager of our written directive system is, as you can imagine, with hundreds of policies that we have in our agency, the management of those can be very arduous. And what Lexipol will do is constantly monitor and make sure that our policies remain compliant. They will also provide the necessary updates. It also ensures that the appropriate policies are disseminated to our personnel. As the updates occur, those updates are as well disseminated to our personnel. It tracks acknowledgement of those policies. And I've been a big fan of this for the last few years, and I'm really excited for the agency to finally get around to be able to implement this. And as stated as well, we'll be using forfeiture funds to fund the first year subscription and implementation fees associated. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions or comments for the captain?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
On the last page, there's a part with the, I think, the purchasing office, audit finance office, and it talks about this being a sole source with CALIA, which is our current accreditation, not offering this platform, and that CALIA does not have the training to the personnel about the policies. Does this in any way signal a departure that we're not going to be continuing with our CALIA accreditation?
Well, I think ultimately that decision is going to be up to the sheriff. I know that we have had those discussions, but as of right now, as I'm standing up here at the podium, I'm not aware of Lexipol replacing CALIA. And there is a distinct difference between the two, whereby Lexipol writes the policies with the sheriff's office fingerprint. CALIA basically lets us write our policies almost in its entirety as long as we meet established standards within those policies. Ultimately, the compliance of those standards are up to us. Any updates to those policies occur as a result of work that we do, research that we do, and then the implementation as well occurs through just being CALIA accredited on our own, whereby Lexipol would do the majority of the work for us. The two actually work very well together, hand in hand. CALIA ensures that we comply with the very well-written policies that Lexipol would then create for us.
I just know that CALIA has been, it's a lot of work to go through their accreditation, but it's been a source of pride for Shawnee County to have a certified and accredited law enforcement agency. And so I just know that that's been a big issue for Shawnee County, and incoming deputies know that they are working for an accredited agency. So,
I agree with that, sir.
thank you.
And I hope we don't lose that. Is that what you were?
Yes, absolutely.
Getting? Okay.
Absolutely.
Just double checking.
But I would move to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion made to acknowledge by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Appreciate you
Have a great
being here
day.
this morning. Next item.
Item G, Commission number 1, consider appointment of a trustee to the Auburn Township Board.
I believe we had 2 applicants, and Commissioner Bueller, I think you had some thoughts.
Well, this is to fill the Martin Weiser's position. I would move to appoint Doug McHatton at this time.
Second that.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Bueller to appoint Doug McHatton, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Commissioner. Next item, please.
Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kerry Golden, Director of Golf. This is a reminder that tomorrow we'll be having a public engagement meeting to discuss the Cypress Ridge Cart Path project, and that'll be held at Cypress Ridge tomorrow from 5:30 to 6:30. Thank you.
And we have an email list of members.
Correct.
that
Yes,
play
they sent
there.
out an email blast last week to all the members. Men's and women's golf associations are
Okay.
invited. So
Okay. And all the members of Lake Shawnee and Forbes also, I assume.
that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Kerry.
Commissioners, Tom Block, once again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is just a reminder, this Saturday is the first Saturday of the month, so the Solid Waste Department will be hosting its household hazardous waste collection event at its facility from 9 a.m. To noon. And that is located at 131 Northeast 46th Street, again, which is about a quarter mile east of the roundabout at 46th and Topeka on the south side of the road, and is where we collect free of charge from county residents old paints, oils, lubricants, pesticides, herbicides, batteries, light bulbs, things of that nature. So the more the merrier. Keep it out of the landfill. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Les Crooks, Kansas Expo. I just wanted to make you aware that the tickets for the Arab Shrine Circus will go on sale this Wednesday. And then on March 6th, we have tickets going on sale for the NAIA Wrestling Championships and also Capital City Carnage, which leads me to Mr. Williams.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sam Williams, Ultimate Derby. I asked Les if I could come and speak a little bit on behalf of the relationship of Ultimate Derby, Blizzard Bash, Capital City Carnage, Topeka, and obviously SMG Management. When we brought Blizzard Bash to the Topeka, Kansas, we had a few very rough years before we got here. We kind of swung for the fences and tried to find the perfect facility for us. We had visited 22 different facilities throughout the entire Midwest before Kemper Arena said, "Hey, you gotta go see the Kansas Expo Center." So that's when we came over here. We did our first event and we did horribly, not very well. We lost a lot of money. I was absolutely done. We were selling everything. That was our third year in a row of losing lots and lots of money, and I just said we couldn't do it anymore. H.R. Cook sat me down. He said, "Here's the deal. I see potential. I see what we can do. You got to give me 1 year." And I said, "I can't even pay my bill to the Kansas Expo Center." And he said, "We'll give you time. We won't charge you interest. Just work with us. I need this event." And I said, "Okay, we'll try it again." It took us till almost from November almost to April to be able to pay that bill. And over the last few years, he said, "Give me till year 3, we'll fill this facility. You guys run a great event. Nobody knows anything about it. We're not a promoter. We weren't a promoter. We didn't know how to work with an arena. We didn't know how to work with hotels. We didn't know how to do any of that." Since then, we are the largest demolition derby in the United States. This last year, we had 23 states represented driving, 4 provinces of Kansas, or 4 provinces of Canada, all in Topeka, Kansas. The hotel, Capitol Plaza, is our host hotel. For 2017, it is 100% full and has been since December 15th. So it's completely booked out, and everybody has paid their first night already in their hotel fees. So with that being said, this year, 2016 could have gone either way. The first night, I approved the dirt, And the arena is 150 by 80 feet, 6 inches deep. And we approved it a month beforehand, said, yep, we should be good to go. Go ahead and lay the dirt. And it was a disaster. Had way too much moisture in it. We didn't know what to do, and it absolutely was going to determine if this was going to be our last Blizzard Bash or not, because the drivers were not going to put up with it. They had too much money in their cars, $100,000 in prize money on the line. We got the board of directors together from SMG Management, and they said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to pull the floor. And we pulled up all of the dirt on Thursday night, called Schmidt Truck Lines, which I can't thank them enough. All their truckers were out of hours. They had nobody to come down. All of a sudden, a dump truck pulls in, and they start pulling up the floor. I said, who's in the dump truck? That's one of the owners is down here to help us at 2 o'clock in the morning. Topeka has rallied behind our event, but it's because of the relationships of what SMG Management has in this community. And I implore you, going through this RFP, to consider Blizzard Bash a very, very strong partner, Ultimate Derby a very strong partner of SMG Management. We would have never built this event without them. And showing our commitment to Topeka, that's why we asked for a 3-year contract. We've never done a 3-year contract before. We're signing a 3-year contract with the facility, with the hotels, with everybody. So we want to show our commitment to Topeka, and hopefully in lieu of that, it shows that is our commitment to SMG Management, and we hope that they stay the management company for the Kansas Expo Center. So thank you for all the great years. It's been a blast, and we've had a good time. So it's been a fun event to build with them. So I just want to thank you for your time, and thank Topeka for hosting a great event for us. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Great story.
Yeah.
That is a good story.
I see you telling your story across the nation about how to grow an event and how to make it the number one. And so
It has been a blast. And it's the interesting thing is when you go and tell somebody, I want to put a demolition derby in your building, we're going to bring a bunch of people who love to party and fight. We're going to bring cars that are going to scatter dirt all over your facility. We're going to use your equine building, and we're going to dump transmission fluid and all sorts of metal where the horses don't like it. Most people look at us and go, yeah, we'd rather not. But thanks anyways. But SMG Management took a gamble on us, and now we estimate that it's 3,800 room nights that we build, and you can tell the St. Louis Dome has asked for this event. And we just said, This is where we're at. And the room nights is what everybody loves to see, and that's what they're after, is the hotel taxes.
Yep.
And that's what over 70% of the people that come to our event are from more than 6 hours away. And so that's the big thing, is we've made this a destination event with their help. And so I just want to say thank you. Awesome facility, and we appreciate it, and let us trash it, and these guys put it right back together for hockey a couple days later. So thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you again for being here. Any others for administrative communications this morning? Okay. Commissioner?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Okay. Commissioner?
Later this evening at the TARC facility, there's going to be a presentation of After the Lights, where we have the big reveal of how the TARC did. And I always want to thank Parks and Rec for everything they do. I know that a lot of Shawnee County departments are involved, from the law enforcement, different agencies involved in helping promote the TARC event at Winter Wonderland. But really, the Parks and Rec department, everything they do to help get it put together, to make sure that it goes off smoothly and seamlessly as it does every year. And so I wait tonight to see how they did. Also, tomorrow at the Capitol, Kansas Department of Commerce is hosting a Made in Kansas event at the Rotunda between 11 and 1, and Mars is going to be there to talk about their impact in Topeka and their partnership, and what a great partnership it is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Executive sessions.
There is a need for an executive session, and I'll make a motion to have an executive session for a period not to go past 20 minutes for the topics of non-elected personnel and also attorney-client privileged information, and that's a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to go into executive session for a period not to exceed 20 minutes, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. We are in executive session. We are back from the executive session. No action required. We are adjourned. When did you